I mean, he's just like in the corner, like you see somebody kind of, hey, what's up? I mean, there's a lot of that. There's a lot of these things that distractingly don't add up. And for films that try so hard to show how all this technical stuff happens. Like, okay, for example, the opening, which I'm sure a lot of you have seen, where Bane escapes with the plane. Now that's mostly BS, but we can buy it because it's very cool and it's neat and you're sort of seeing how it's done and you're giving us some idea. But all this other stuff, all these other things that they're doing that you just think logically this would make sense or they would try this or do this, and they don't, or they don't explain it. And it's so weird because of that. But, what else? I mean, those are sort of the major things. Okay, at the end, there's a relatively good twist at the end. I mean, it's one of those nice ones where it was in plain sight the whole time. You just go, oh, okay, yeah, I didn't see that coming, okay. But, again, when you see what it's adding up to, and you sort of see, oh, this is our villain. You know, this is the villain. You just go, really? Batman? Batman, okay, Batman movie. This is your villain. This is what it's all coming down to. You have created some of the world's greatest villains. I mean, unbelievable. These characters write themselves. They're so unbelievable. I mean, people have prayed to write for Batman because they want to write for these villains. They're that good. And you have it boiled down to this person who clearly you don't give a shit about. I mean, at all. So that's a problem. The ending... I can't believe this is how they're finishing this movie. I won't give it away. But the ending to this movie is not how a Batman film would end. It's more like how Shrek doing a Batman film would end. Like, oh, isn't that kind of cute? Oh, isn't that kind of... oh, isn't it... Oh. No. This... From, like... from the point where Bruce Wayne gets thrown in this prison on... It doesn't feel like Batman at all. I'm not sure what it feels like. I don't know if it's trying to do an Avengers thing where they're just flying around the city and they're trying to make it huge. Which I feel bad saying because it looks like a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot ever went into this. And a lot of the stuff is really there. And a lot of the big crowds and a lot of the fighting. And it's very impressive. But you just don't give a shit. You don't give a shit about what happens to the city or Batman or what the bad guy's plan is. And you're just you're constantly asking, why should I care about this? Why should I care about the bad guy's plan, about if Batman saves them or any of this? Because it just seems like it's what we've done in the first film, just stretched out longer and made bigger. You know, at least with the second film, they're going to sort of this anarchy, and you don't want the Joker to win because you want to believe in the best of mankind. But you know where the Joker's coming from, and you can sort of understand it. Even though you don't agree with it, or maybe you do even, you don't want to be on his side. But it's very challenging not to because you are sort of agreeing with some of what he's saying. So that's great. And even the weird plan in the first Batman, in Batman Begins, it kind of makes sense. Like, you don't agree with it, but you're like, well, okay, I guess that analogy can almost work. In here, it just doesn't add up. It just seems like stubborn dicks that somehow got this really big budget and all these henchmen and stuff, and yet they still don't put guards at the prison. And yeah, like I said, another big issue with it is that you don't really feel the hero's journey on this. You don't feel what he has to go through to, you know, achieve this greatness, and that chant, that dishy, pasta, whatever it's called, is played throughout the whole thing. It means rise, rise, rise. So they're really building up this thing where the Dark Knight rises. He comes back again, stuff like that. First of all, he comes back pretty quickly. They're making it like, he's gone for, like halfway through the movie he comes back and everyone's gonna cheer. He comes back pretty fast. I mean, nothing really snap. It's like, oh, I guess I should probably put the Batsuit back on. I'll do it. Come on, let's go. So, I mean, even that's sort of underwhelming. what else? What else? There's so many. I mean, this is one of those things where I could just go through the movie and just do, like, bullet points. Like, what I don't like about it and what doesn't work for me. So I guess maybe I'm a little harsh just, saying, like, oh, it sucks. I don't think it sucks. I mean, because there's some good stuff in it. But for the direction these movies were going, and to take this direction, and for us not to be invested, for me not to be invested, really kind of surprised me. And to keep doing the Batman voice, too, and all that stuff. Okay, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I really need to address. And this sort of goes along with the ending, too. Okay, so you have this woman who's going to sort of financer. It's going to take over Wayne Enterprises and stuff like that. And whatever, she's sort of, against Wayne because he becomes a recluse. He's not keeping track of his money, which, again, you sort of go, yeah, what a dick. He's throwing money and stuff, but he's not keeping track of it. He's like, oh, leave me alone. But, okay, he gets his act together, and he tells her about this machine that I guess he sort of invented in his spare time. Or there's probably a story to it. But it was just explained so fast. But can also be used as a weapon, of course. That's why he wants to keep it secret. So he sort of shows her this, and, they're trying to get the company back together and stuff like that. And then, all of a sudden, they're fucking. It's, the hell happened? There was no chemistry at all. It's like just suddenly they're bonking each other. It comes out of nowhere. It's like he used that robot line for Prometheus. Hey, are you a robot? Oh, do me. It made no sense at all. And then on top of that, we don't really know if him and the Catwoman are supposed to be an item, really. Sort of near the end, you sort of get, well, wait, are they? Maybe they are. I don't know. But again, it's the final film, so this is what they're sticking with. And at the very end, I guess there's kind of a clear answer, but it's not one that you were like, yeah, I see how they got to that point. I think the only other thing I'll talk about before I say who probably like it, who wouldn't, is it really is, sadly, sort of an example of when there's too much story and not enough character. Some of them are good. Catwoman's a good character, Bane's a good character, but, like, the first half hour of this movie is just exposition. Well, what happened here? Well, this and this and that and that. Well, who is that? Well, that's him and her and blah, blah, blah. Well, where's this going? Well, that's going to here and there and blah, blah, blah. I mean, and a lot of it's really forced. I mean, just like, just shoving this shit in your face and just talk. We're doing this. Well, we're doing this. We're doing this. We're doing this. That's that person. That's this person. What's this thing? Well, this is that. And it does not flow. You're constantly aware you're hearing exposition. And they're not introducing much character, again, with the exception of Bane and Catwoman. And that sort of follows it through. And like I said, when you get to the hero's quote-unquote journey in the middle, in the prison, you don't feel like he's going through hell. You don't feel like he's really, that he's risen. He is, he's rise, as they keep chanting. By the way, they chant this thing about 1 million times a day, only on, like, whatever, day 10, does he ask, what does that mean? Really? You never... People on the internet are like, what does it mean? What does it mean? When they saw the trailer, they saw it for like the first minute, and they're like, what does that mean? You waited 10 days to ask? What does that chanting mean? On like his 5th attempt trying to get up this thing, and I'm nitpicking. I don't think it's nitpicking, but I'm going out of order here. So it really is one of those films where, and the Batman films, actually a lot of the Christopher Nolan films have always sort of had that problem. That there's much more story than there is character. There's usually enough character. You usually get like one really, really strong character. The Joker was that really, really strong character, in Dark Knight. Or actually, of all things, Batman was actually for a while a really, really strong character in Batman Begins. So that usually sort of carries it through okay. But in this one, it's just overload. And you're just tired of it, and you don't know why you're supposed to be rooting for this, or what the big journey is, or any of that. So that's pretty much, those are my issues with the movie. And there are some good stuff, there are some good effects. And I do like Catwoman, I do like Bane, but everything else, I just couldn't get into it all. So, okay. Who would like this film? My guess is that people, it's going to sound weird, people who like Prometheus would probably like a film like this. Someone that wants something really basic. Or just wants some basic action. You might be a little bored by it at times because it is extremely long. But you can sort of follow, and you can follow it enough. Again, sort of almost near the third act, there's a lot of, well, how are we going to get the cops out? Well, we're going to do this. Well, how are we going to do this? We're going to do that. More of that exposition stuff that you're just, come on, God. And I think people who, are getting themselves hyped up to see this, and just, they want to see Catwoman, they want to see Bane, they want to see people punching people and explosions and stuff. And that's sort of all they need. They don't need too much else. Because it's not like there's nothing to this movie. They give little drops of, something to kind of cling on to. For me, it's not enough. But if you only need a little, if you just want your basic action movie, it's not bad. You might get a little bored by it at times, but you'll probably like it okay. People who won't like it, anyone that really thinks this is going to be the big Batman, you want to see it move on to the next level, you want to see the character's next development, you want to see all this stuff, you're probably going to be underwhelmed by it. I don't know if you'll hate it, because there is still some good things in it, so I don't think you'll say it sucks or anything, but you'll probably be let down a bit, especially after something like Avengers that did so well at balancing characters. And this one, Batman sort of disappears for a while, Bane sort of disappears for a while, and stuff. And it's just so hard to get into the main character's dilemmas, I guess. So, yeah, hopefully that gives you some idea of it. Personally, if I had to guess, I don't know fan reaction. Fans may love it. People applaud it at the end. I really don't know if people are going to be like, Doug, you're a fucking asshole for this, or if people are going to be like, yeah, dude, that's what I thought. So, I really don't know. I don't know how people are going to accept this film. My guess would be that in terms of what's going to be the big moneymaker, Dark Knight Rises might have the bigger opening weekend, possibly, but I think Avengers is the safe bet for the one that would have people coming back. I don't know how many people would come back to this. That's what I find so interesting, because it is so long, and there is just so much talking, explaining, exposition, and there's not something you can really get behind. Avengers, again, is very simple and just stuck to it. It has a lot of complicated things going on, but when you get down to it, it's a very basic story, and people like that. And it's good action. So, yeah, that's pretty much my 2 cents about it. I could possibly be a little too harsh on it, maybe, because like I say, it looks like people worked really hard on it, and it's not without any character. There's some good stuff, but yeah, it did not do anything for me, and I'm a Batman fan. I liked Dark Knight, and I liked Batman Begins, but this did not do it for me, and I really don't think it's a satisfactory ending, by any means, really. In fact, it's almost, like I say, it's almost like a joke ending or a dumbbell ending, like, wah. I don't want to give away too much. Yeah, so, just personally, not a fan. If you like it, great. It just didn't do anything for me. So, that's about it, guys, and I'll talk to you later.